Namaste, secure dosto. Welcome back to the Visionary Vibrance channel in another episode. From now onwards, we will start Bhagavad Gita on every Saturday. Today, we will start with the greatness of the Gita. Truly speaking, none has power to describe in the word the glory of the Gita. For it is a book containing the highest historic doctrines. It is a essence of Vedas. Its language is so sweet and simple that man can easily understand it after a little practice. But the thoughts are so deep that none can arrive at the end even after constant study throughout a lifetime. Every day they exhibit new facet of truth. Therefore, they remain ever concentrated mind. Possessed of faith and reverence, every verse of the Gita will clearly appear as full of the deepest mystery. The manner in which Gita describes the virtues, glories, and the secret of God is hardly found in any other scripture. For in other books, the teachings are generally mixed up, more or less, with worldly subject, but the Gita uttered by the Lord in such an incomparable book that not a word will be found in it, which is devoid of some spiritual import. This is why Sri Vedvyas, after describing the Gita in Mahabharata, said in the end, गीता सुगीता कर्तव्या किमनय शास्त्र विस्तरे या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुख पद्मनाभध्वनि surata. The Gita should be carefully studied. That is, after reading the text, its meaning and idea should be gathered and held in the mind. It emanated from the lotus-like lips of Bhagwan Vishnu himself, from whose navel sprung the lotus. What is the use of studying the other elaborate scriptures? Moreover, the Lord himself also described its glory at the end of the Gita. All men, irrespective of Varna and Asrama, possess the right to study the Gita. The only qualification needed are faith and reverence, for it is God's injunction to propagate the Gita only among his devotees. And he further said that the women, Vaishyas, Sudras, and even men born of sinful wombs can attain the supreme state of salvation if they cultivate devotion to him, and through worship of him by the performance of their own nature-born duties, men can attain perfection. Reflection on these verses make it clear that all men have equal right to God realization. By owing to lack of understanding of the truth behind this subject, many persons who have only heard the name of the Gita make the assertion that book is intended only for monks and ascetics, and they refrain from placing the book for study before their children out of fear lest through knowledge of the Gita the latter renounce their herds and homes and turn ascetic themselves. But they should consider the fact that Arjun, who had due to infatuation prepared himself to turn away from the duty of Kshatriya and live on alms, being influenced by the most secret and mysterious teaching of the Gita, lived the life of a householder all his life and performed his duties. How can that very Gita produce this diametrically opposite result? Therefore, men who desire their own welfare should give up the delusion with utmost faith and reverence induce their children to study the Gita, understanding the meaning and underlying idea of every verse. and while studying and reflecting on it themselves, should injunction of the Lord honestly take to spiritual practice for obtaining these most valuable human body. It is improper to waste even a single moment of one's time in indulging in transient enjoyment, the root of sorrow. Thank you for listening. Om Shanti.